Most coaches are never going to get cited by Google or their favorite AI platform. And I got verified by Google, and we call that claiming and having a Google Knowledge Panel. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did this in 7 minutes. Having a Google Knowledge Panel is basically like getting a blue check mark on Facebook or Instagram back before you could pay for them. They are definitely something that has to be earned. It cannot be paid for. And to get one significant enough digital footprint that Google is confident that you are a distinct, unique person, individual, brand, and you cannot bot your way into a knowledge panel. Google is cross-referencing all of its sources, the whole internet, and it is a much harder game than a follower account. But here's why it matters, because it's not just being verified by Google, because when your favorite AI platform, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever, gets asked about coaches in your space, it's going to pull from the same web of sources that Google uses to verify you. These sources are trusted. There may be other Crissy Connors out there, but when you search Crissy Connor, my name comes up, my images come up, my social media platforms come up, my website comes up. It's all about me. There is zero confusion now when you search the name Crissy Connor. And mine is the first result with a Google Knowledge Panel attached to it. Back when I started this process, I was told it would take 3 to 12 months to do this. And I did it in 6 weeks. And here's the important thing. The first thing I did is I had to run a full name audit on myself. I literally opened a spreadsheet, Googled my name and my brand name, and went through every single platform, Instagram, LinkedIn, podcast bios, speaker profiles, everywhere I've ever had an article written about me, and wrote down exactly what was said about me on each one. Yes, this is work. You can also have AI do it. But what I found was inconsistency. I had been called different things in different places: visibility coach, visibility strategist, visibility expert, too many things that were incongruencies. And that meant that there was a disconnect. Meaning, if the machine doesn't understand exactly what I'm saying, because that's what they are, then it's going to be like, I don't know what she does. We're just going to ignore her. I had some profiles where I was called the visibility queen. I have since rebranded to the visible CEO. And so I had to make sure that Google wasn't getting confused by all these other names that I had out there. What I did was I went through and made sure that all of my bios, all of my descriptions were as congruent as possible, minus all of the different character limits that we have across platforms. And anywhere where there was a name change, for example, the visibility queen to the visible CEO, what I did was I actually just told the story where I used to be known as the visibility queen, and now I'm known as the visible CEO. Here's the trajectory of how that happened and the when and how that transpired. The second thing that I did was I have been leveraging other people's audiences since way back when, 2019. And so I have been in articles, I have spoken on stages, I have my names as a guest on people's podcasts, and I had all of this information. And sure, it was here and there and everywhere, but it was nowhere where it was organized. And so what I did was I found all of the places I'd ever been, all the places I had been cited, and made sure they were all in a Google spreadsheet first. So I created a dedicated, what I call a media page. You could call it as a seen-in page. And I listed every podcast interview, industry article, stage I had spoken on, any press mention, and I had a direct link to every single one of them, not just the name of the show or the article, an actual working link. So it proved that it wasn't just me saying that I did this thing, but I was linking to it as well. This is huge because there are AI crawlers, there are Google bots, and they're always using those links to map your credibility. So we used to be able to say, I was in this or I was in that. And now, especially AI, and if you want a Google Knowledge Panel, they're saying, okay, prove it to me. Show me where that came from. Show me what you mean. Prove it to me. So if you do not have this, because this is what Google is going to start building, to have this confident picture of you as a real, distinct person or entity. And so when we have these multiple independent sources, they're all pointing back to the same person. That is like, okay, boom, this is starting to make sense. This person is who they say they are. And if you don't currently have a press or a media page, that is like going to be one of your first action items. And the third most important thing that I did was having a schema. So basically, schema is this code. You don't need to know how to code. It lives on your website. Google AI can read it very, very well in plain terms. So meaning they don't have to scrape your entire site. They can see exactly who you are through the schema. And there are tons of free tools out there. Like Google has a structured data markup helper that you can go to. So just search for that if you want to create these for yourself. But what I created was a person schema on my homepage and my about page at CrissyConnor.com. It lists my name. It lists my title. It lists all of my personal, not my brand, but my personal social media links, so that Google knows that every single one of these all belong to me. to the Crissy Connor that I say I am. I also made sure to separate my visible CEO platforms from my Crissy Connor platforms. And I cleaned up anywhere where there was this overlap or any confusion. And so once I claimed my knowledge panel, which happened because I did all of these things, I was able to add my Google Knowledge ID to my schema so it can update it even more frequently now because it knows, okay, we've connected the dots. We see exactly who this person is. Check out my panel. This is so cool because it constantly updates because I claimed it through the Google Search Console. And then I added my knowledge panel ID to the schema so Google can keep refreshing this as new content comes up. So you can see that this Google Knowledge panel is pulling up my social media links, my latest content, my description. All of this is about me. No one else. This whole page is all Crissy Connor. So to recap this and to get your own knowledge panel, this is what you want to do. You want to make sure you're clear on who you are. And you want to get solid on that. And you don't want to do a 180 every 6 to 12 months because it's just going to make this work so much harder. So run this audit. Where are you? Who is it saying you are in the online space? Find all those disconnects. And then you want to tell the story of any changes. This is not only good for AI and Google, but also the human people that show up on your site. And then you want to find everywhere you've been cited and you want to get it on your website with those live links because that page, that media page, press page, whatever you want to call it, is going to do so much more SEO work than you could even imagine. You want to make sure that you're creating a personal schema, meaning you are the person of your brand and it connects you as an entity to all your social profiles. And there are so many free tools out there that can help you do this, but I'm telling you, this is a game changer. And if you're an early adopter, you're going to want to do this right now because it does help AI recognize you as well. It's not just a Google verification, but when we think of Gemini, when we think of all the Google AI overviews, it'd be so much when it comes to being visible to AI as well. Once your panel is up, and this is one of those things you're just going to have to search for and you're going to have to keep doing work on it. Keep searching your name, go to an incognito window. And once you see it and you can tap the 3 dots, and if it says, this is your knowledge panel, you need to claim your knowledge panel, you get to claim it. You can do this through Google Search Console, or you can go in and actually submit like your ID and all these information so it knows exactly who you are. This is not an easy thing, friends. However, we already have this. If you've been in my world for any time, you know how to diversify your visibility. And so you have all this stuff. You just get to put it in the right places. And so when we get visible to AI, when we get visible to Google, it helps with our searchability, it helps with our authority, and so much more. This is all a good thing and is all the direction we want to go, especially when we want to create a visibility strategy that works harder than we do. I'll link all the tools that I mentioned. If you want help with this, building out your visibility strategy that works harder than you do, so Google and AI know exactly who you are, the link to work with me is in the description. And if this helped you, subscribe because I'm going to put out videos like this every single week that are going to support you to be more visible to Google, AI, and the places your people are.